السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Namai, Harimai, Tina Koto, Tina Tatua Katua. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we are honored to have a special and distinguished guest with us here, who I would like to acknowledge. We are grateful to have Ms. Nicole Roberton, Acting Deputy Secretary, Europe, Middle East, and Africa Division at IMFAT with us here tonight. Please welcome Nicole Roberton. I'm also delighted to see the President of the Commodore Matthew Williams, Vice Chief of New Zealand Defence Force. You are most welcome, Matthew. Also, His Excellency Alfredo Brez Bravo, Ambassador of Mexico and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, is here with us, all ambassador. Excellencies, member of Diplomatic Corps, fellow citizen, families, and distinguished guests. This year marked the 53rd anniversary of the UAE's founding on the 2nd December of 1971. Sheikh Zayed, along with his founding fathers, led the groundwork for a prosperous and united Emirati nation. The UAE has transformed from a resource-scarce state to a leading nation in space, innovation, trade, technology, and other development fields. Those achievements affirm that nothing is impossible and everything can be achieved. The UAE will continue pushing boundaries to reach its potentials. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, the UAE has 103 embassies, 20 consulates, 4 parliament missions, and 77 non-resident embassies globally, enhancing and fostering its international relations. As we gather to mark the UAE National Day this evening, it's a true pleasure to celebrate the deepening of ties between the UAE and New Zealand. The relation between our two countries are distinguished, growing, and strong. Let me point out the most important milestones that have been achieved in this field in recent months alone, including official visits in both directions, trade agreements, and memorandum of understanding. Excellencies, I'm excited to talk first about the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, CEPA. I can proudly say the UAE relationship with New Zealand has evolved significantly over the years, with the recent CEPA agreements enhancing our partnerships through trust and consultation, paving the way for the future growth and expansion. This partnership has strengthened by expanding connection, economic growth, shared interest, and people-to-people links. The upcoming implement of the CEPA is expected to further strengthen the partnership. A bright future lies ahead. Furthermore, New Zealand and Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC, including UAE, concluded negotiation in a free trade agreement last month, marking a significant milestone in economic cooperation. As you may know, the GCC, in addition to UAE, includes 5 other countries, which are Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, and Kingdom of Bahrain. Honorable guests, I would like to briefly highlight some of the official visits. In this regard, the leaders of our 2 countries have been able to exchange official visits despite the distance. This demonstrates the strength of our relations, as evidenced by recent official visits between the 2 sides. Her Excellency Rima Al-Hashmi, Minister of International Cooperation, visited New Zealand last year. This was followed by the visit of His Excellency Thani Ziyudi in September this year, when the negotiation of the CEPA agreement were concluded. In this regard, I would like to congratulate the Honorable Todd McLeay, who has visited the UAE and the region 7 times since taking office. The Minister had made a significant contributions to the bilateral relations and continued to maintain his exceptional excellence. Let's briefly go over some of the other visits by some further honorable minister to the UAE, including Honorable Domin O'Connor, former Minister of Trade, Honorable James Shaw, former Minister of Climate Change, Honorable Simon Watts, Minister for Climate Change, Honorable Pini Henira, former Minister of Defense. Finally, we are looking forward to a high-level official visit by the leaders of the 2 countries in the near future, which is expected to open more opportunities for cooperations and enhance the already distinguished bilateral relations. To conclude the sections, as part of the effort of the UAE and its leadership that are limitless, the UAE has decided to accede to Antarctica Treaty, providing the basis for engaging with partners such as New Zealand on scientific cooperation in the Antarctica. This represents another step for the UAE to explore and enter new horizons and aspects. Before I finish, let me express my gratitude to our Defense Attaché, Staff Colonel Mohammed Al-Madroushi, who came from Canberra to commemorate and celebrate this remarkable event. Thank you. I cannot forget to thank the musical group Nava for such a quality and outstanding performance. By the way, Nava means melody in English and Lahan in Arabic. Also, do not forget to thank my team, who forgot to give me my speech, at the mission, and my family, my wife and 3 daughters and son, he's waving to me, for their role in facilitating my Mahi. Excellencies, member of Diplomatic Corps, fellow citizens, families, and distinguished guests. Now I would like to propose a toast to His Majesty King Charles III, to the 53rd anniversary of the founding of the UAE, to the prosperity of the UAE and New Zealand, to the friendship between our 2 people, and to the health and happiness to all friends here and your loved ones. Nicole, would you grab one, please? Thank you, Nicole. Thank you all, and please enjoy the rest of the evening. Norera tina koto, tina tatu katua. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa umsiya tayyiba lil jami'.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, please join me in welcoming the representative of New Zealand government, Her Excellency Nicole Robiton, Acting Deputy Secretary, Europe, Middle East and Africa Division, to share her remarks. Please, Your Excellency, welcome to the stage.
Ina mana, ina reo, ina iwi, ina hoe wha, tēnā koutou katoa. Ambassador Al-Khimzi, Excellencies, distinguished guests, members of the Emirati community in New Zealand, and friends of the United Arab Emirates, Assalamu alaikum. Before I go any further, can I just give a shout out to the beautiful children who was doing the sign language of the New Zealand national anthem as we sang along. I was so impressed with that, and I wanted to say it first before I forgot. You look fantastic, but the sign language was something else, and I'd like you to teach me to do that for the next national day that I go to. Ambassador, it's an honour and a privilege to join you today to celebrate the 53rd National Day of the United Arab Emirates. 2024 has been a watershed year in the already warm relationship between New Zealand and the United Arab Emirates, and we enjoy stronger bilateral relations than ever before. This is perhaps best reflected in the fact that over the past few months, we have concluded the 2 new trade agreements with the UAE, the Bilateral Closer Economic Partnership Agreement, CEPA, and the Gulf Cooperation Council, FTA. The relationship, as the Ambassador has pointed out, has seen an unprecedented level of ministerial engagement. We were delighted to welcome His Excellency Dr. Thani Al-Zayudi, the UAE's Minister of State for Foreign Trade, here in September. He and the Honourable Todd McClay, Minister for Trade, concluded negotiations of CEPA as well as the Bilateral Investment Treaty. Ambassador, you talked about UAE pushing boundaries. Negotiated in record time, New Zealand's fastest ever negotiation was done in just 4 months. The CEPA is already an extremely high quality agreement. Once in force, it will provide goods exporters with tariff-free access for 98.5% of exports between our 2 countries on day 1. It also includes trade facilitator rules designed to reduce behind-the-border barriers. It also provides transparency and certainty for our services providers, including for professional services, education services, audiovisual and gaming sectors. No gaming for the children allowed. The CEPA and the Bilateral Investment Treaty concluded alongside it will facilitate investment flows between New Zealand and the UAE, creating opportunities in support of economic growth. Attention is now focused on completing the steps to enable the agreement to be signed and enter into force, which we aim to do together as soon as possible. In addition to announcing conclusion of the CEPA, Minister Al-Zayudi's visit also provided the opportunity for the Minister and his delegation to connect with a range of ministers, members of Parliament and the business community to further strengthen connections between us. There's also been a high-tempo pace of outwards ministerial engagement. I think we counted 7 for Minister McClay, and Minister Watts has also visited the UAE over the last year. We've also had several virtual engagements between Minister Peters and His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Notably, Minister McClay was Vice Chair of the 13th WTO Ministerial Council held in Abu Dhabi and chaired by Minister Al-Zayudi. Excellencies, it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge that we come together during an immensely difficult time for the broader Middle East region, which has experienced active conflict for over a year. This fighting deeply impacts the region, takes an unacceptable toll on civilians, and it inflicts a horrific humanitarian cost. The ceasefire agreed between Israel and Lebanese Hezbollah this week comes as welcome news. It shows that diplomacy works when there is political will. New Zealand continues to advocate for the same political will to be applied in Gaza, where a ceasefire, humanitarian access, and the release of hostages are desperately needed. The UAE has had a significant role in alleviating the humanitarian catastrophe in the Gaza Strip since the start of the war. Together with other partners in the region, the United Arab Emirates has played an important role in international and regional efforts to halt the conflict and plan for post-war arrangements. This is an outcome that New Zealand strongly supports, and we hope that this will be another area where we can continue to work together. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, in celebration of the 53rd National Day of the United Arab Emirates, and in recognition of the long-standing friendship between our 2 nations, May I also invite you all to join me in a toast to the President, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and the government and the people of the United Arab Emirates. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Assalamu alaikum.